Oops, forgot to hit the button. I'm here and you're here, and that's what matters. I can see Penny cracking up. Yep, I'm a little out of it. It's always an unbelievable time when we get here together on Tuesday nights. Everybody, I am host Vera Jones, and this is Certified Unscripted. When you're looking for real and raw and respected opinions and topics in women's hoops, you get the right place. You got the right place right here. So all of you watching on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live also realize that you can go back in time, check out some awesome shows that we've had, some great guests that we've had as well. Tonight won't be any different. We have an amazing guest, and I know that we already have people lined up and ready to talk to our special guest tonight. But before I just want to tease you with that and say thank you for being here. Before we do that, we always pop in and we check in with our panel, our power panel. And it always begins for me with GM Penny Toler, LA Sparks for many, many moons, who's doing some positive things even as we speak. The mighty Ruthie Bolton, obviously going to show off the guns and hopefully some powerful knowledge tonight as well. We start to show off. We're missing that third element. Again, Teresa Weatherspoon. But again, we have a special guest tonight. Before I get started, I always say, Penny, what's on your mind?
Well, hey, it's a lot on my mind. You got the WNBA playoffs. You got a lot of stuff happening for women's basketball. I'm just ready to get in there. It's going to be a great show, and it's a lot that's happening.
Yeah, it's a whole lot happening. We're going to recap on some of what happened last week. Yes, we will be looking to take your questions as best we can. Please don't get in there and start going, you ain't take my question, because there's like a million questions coming from both Facebook, YouTube, and everywhere. So we'll take as many as we possibly can, but we also want to hear from our special guest. Mighty Ruthie, first thing on the top of your mind right now.
You know, excited, man. It takes me way back. I sort of wish I was still playing a little bit, man. It got me, this is some really good basketball, and it just, to me, to look at the talent, it is just beautiful. And I love the thing about the game so much because, you know, you just can't show up and think this is, and this shows you how the game has evolved. So I'm really excited for this finals. And yeah, hey, you know what? And to me, this is the best place right here to get real, like I said, real talk, and from veteran players and GM that knows the game. So I'm excited. It's going to be a great show.
You know what we do better here on this show, too, is we get into the hypotheticals. So since you said you would wish that you were still playing, I'm going to get hypothetical on my first question, which is, but what team would you play for? If you had an option right now, who would you play for, Ruthie?
I want to play with Teresa. I want to be a wing. I want to play with Teresa. I want to play.
Well, she was hot the other day, though. She was hot. I mean, not, and she wasn't hot. She was hot, mad hot the other day. That's your team, though.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, you know what? Right. When you look at team, you obviously you can't deny both teams have unbelievable players. You know, obviously Candace Parker and then the playmaker with Chicago. But you know what? You have to look at. I remember I told Teresa one time. I think I was pretty much almost done. I said, I would love to play with her because I love her fire. And, you know, I love her tenacity, and I love her just refusing to lose. And she's displayed that from day one to the end. So yeah, definitely she would be a pretty good teammate.
Pure passion across the board. Penny, I'm not going to take you out of this. Hypothetical. If you had to play for a team this year, just based on this season, right now, which team would you have wanted to play for?
You know, it's hard to pass on Teresa because I agree with Ruthie. Teresa is just awesome. And I want to say to you, Vera, Teresa ain't never hot. That's just Teresa. Teresa, like I told you, she's the only person that can score buckets, talk to her teammates, tell the referees off, and coach all at the same time.
All at the same time.
If I could play for any team right now, I think, I don't know. I'm one of those people. I like the up tempo, the excitement. To be honest with you, I probably, it's hard to pass on Teresa, but I would probably say. Probably Sue Bird or Dallas because I like them young guns.
All right. I like it.
Oh yeah, I knew. I would pick you down. So you ain't.
I'm not gonna change for them. That's a great young team. What up, Spoon? That's a great young team, and I think they will be very, very good in the future.
She can't hear. Can you hear? Somebody's popping. Ruthie, I always blame you for the popping. You typing? What's popping?
Oh, something popping?
Something's popping. It's on and popping. Spoon, can you hear us? Spoon can't hear us, so she's out. All right. All right. So, okay, one other thing I'm going to throw at you before we introduce our special guest tonight. I wanted to follow up 2 things. I lied. 2 things. The GOAT, we finally, after all of that, so that happened. I think that happened since last week, or did that? I think it might have even come in.
Yeah, it just happened in the last game.
The last game. So we now know, since you mentioned Teresa, congratulations. Thoughts on the GOAT before we move?
Like I said, I agree with Spoon and everybody. Like we said before, it's hard to pick one GOAT. But what I believe I said about Teresa weeks ago, Teresa actually kind of tied the past with the future.
Yeah.
And Teresa has been very, very consistent. And like Ruthie said, it's hard to, deny her tenacity and her will to win. So it could have been obviously 25 GOATs, but with the pool that they had, you pretty much couldn't go wrong. But Teresa's legit. Teresa is one of the best players I've ever seen.
All right. And then the other thing that we talked about, and we only had a chance to touch on, but since last Tuesday, we did get at least we talked about the fight, the chicken wing fight outside the food truck.
Crazy with the chicken wing
or whatever it was over. I never did get the truth on that.
Chicken wings better than Popeyes. Didn't Popeyes somebody have a
fight? I don't really know what they fight. All I know is it happened outside of some kind of a food truck. But we did get one of the owners, Renee Montgomery, commented. So I did see that piece too, that it basically was, they only got to see 15 seconds of the clip. They did not realize the severity of the incident, and et cetera, et cetera. With that being said, your thoughts overall on, how things were handled?
Well, I'm going to say something real quick, and I know Penny got, I'm going to play devil's advocate for a little bit.
Okay.
When you know how this doesn't happen that much in women's sports, and to me, integrity and character is so important.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it, it happens so little in women's basketball that when it does, it's a big deal. It happens night after night in the men, night after night on 5, 6 different teams, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what the guys do. But it is happening for the women, and then we make a big fuss. But that's just being when I'm playing devil's advocate. But obviously, in reality, we're not trying to be like the men. We have something special to offer, and we want to be up, sizzling. We want to have great character. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when it comes to that. But I think I'm pretty sure they're gonna handle it. I think that.
Oh wow, we lost Ruthie. She just kind of popped out. I think it was kind of her audio. But we were talking Spoon. First of all, welcome in. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear now. Praise God. Praise the Lord.
Good.
Yeah, we know who was doing the crackling because they go.
Yeah, it's always Ruthie crackling. She's always something. Ruthie and her audio. But this is actually a comment that has come in from Xavier. T. Wright's gonna come in, and we should be saying congratulations because there is right new coach
T. Wright. Yes.
But he said she's gonna come in and clean all of that mess up. But in all seriousness, there is probably a lot that a lot of house cleaning that's going to have to be done. Your thoughts on that in terms of that's one of the things. Once things kind of get out there in the media, then it's now you got to play cleanup. You thought you were coming to just kind of organize and coach basketball or administratively lead basketball, but it turns out that now you have to clean up this whole image and everything else. Your thoughts overall on the work that she has ahead of her?
Who are you swinging that to? Me or Spoon?
Yeah, I'll swing it to you too. But Spoon, since you just came in, you can pounce in if you want to.
Yeah, I'd pounce in here because when you get a head coaching job, you want to go in and kind of set the tone of how you want your program to be. Well, there's a lot of stuff like you just said. She has to clean up. She has to clean up a lot of stuff. But one thing I do know about Tanisha is when it comes to cleaning things up, she's going to do that in a stern way, a demanding way, not a demeaning way, but a demanding way. She demands things to be done. And she's going to make some changes there that a lot of people are going to be really, really surprised about, happy about, and it's going to bring some more butts and seats there. I believe that. I believe she have those young people playing the game the way the game should be played and understanding not only do you play with each other, but you play for each other.
I like it. Penny, your thoughts, because from an administrative standpoint, obviously you've had to deal with a lot over the 23 years that you've been with an organization. So you know what goes into that as well.
Yeah, probably more than you can ever imagine. You know, and
Not that
hopefully,
much,
I don't die with my memoirs in my soul and not put out there, but I will get them out there, okay? You know, at the end of the day, Tanisha can come in there all she wants, but greatness starts at the top. You know, I do believe that Tanisha's going to do everything she's saying, but it has to start at the top of the organization. And I say that for 20 years. You know, people can say what they want to say about the Sparks and myself, but we had a standard that was, you know, was hard and tough to match, which I think put a good spoon in there. You know, it has to start up here. You have to build a culture, and you have to set the rules and for what happened. And at the same time, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had some people reached out to me, and I had a lot of people reach out to me, to be honest with you, about that situation there in Atlanta. Where at the same time too, you know, and this is going to rattle a lot of cages when I say it, but I mean this, that sometimes also, and I'm not there, I'm not in that, and hopefully Atlanta did their investigation, because I know the players said that it was self-defense, and, you know, unfortunately, when athletes are athletes, and I'm not defending athletes or what happened, and obviously it was bad judgment on Courtney part to put it up, but we've all done been there and probably said and done some bad things. But I'm one of those people, and I'm not saying in Atlanta because I don't know the whole circumstances of it. But if I did see 10 seconds of it and I know it was more, I'm going to ask to see more, so I'm not surprised as an executive. I'm not going to be blindsided by this. You get what I'm saying? So if you showed me 10 seconds of a fight and it went off, I'm like, well, where's the rest of the video? Because obviously somebody had it. So did they really know, or did they really only see 10 seconds and they should have asked more? So I'm kind of baffled by that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm one of these people, and I've always been this general manager. I always consider myself to be a player's manager, you know, in the sense of, I'm going to investigate, because at the same time, this is a different era we live in with social media, and a lot of people are letting social media decide people's careers and their future. You know, why couldn't you put a sports psychologist on your level? Do you have to throw all the black kids away, or is there a rehabilitation for them? You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to say rehabilitation, but when can somebody explain to me, when are the teaching moments and the learning moments? Because sometime in that bad situation, here's a learning moment that people don't have to pay with their careers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you show me one person that hasn't made a mistake. And I still say, those things happen because all of it was in shambles. If it all wasn't in shambles, maybe that wouldn't have happened. I don't know. But this is why I'm saying, I think Tanisha's going to do a good job. Congratulations to her. But it still starts at the top.
And I agree. In a lot of the work I do, I can't say that enough. It starts at the top, right? Leadership.
And one last thing, Vera, and I want to be honest, because I saw the video too. And of course, you know, I mean, you could have suspended them. Okay. You chose to throw him off the team. I'm like, Ruthie, like, you chose to throw him off the team. But where does the teaching moment come in? And like you said,
I get it. And I actually think so.
And the big thing is, I'm just gonna say this. And like Ruthie said about the NBA, you got people beating their wives, beating their girlfriends up, doing everything. So I'm like, okay, I don't know who started the fight. Did the other people start the fight and they were defending themselves? I don't know.
A lot of questions, but I think you hit the nail on the head that the real leadership asks the questions, right? You don't dodge them. You don't say, okay, I don't really want to see enough. You ask, and you have to be, have the correct.
Just because the public is pouncing on you, you do the easy thing and throw the players away. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Well, what happens, you know, when it hits the fan, and you look and you see who's involved, you're like, oh my goodness, this is going to cost us as a team. This is going to cost us as an organization. And then it's more of a spank instead of what should be done. Like, where's the learning lesson? Where's the teaching moment behind the closed doors? We don't know what really was. We don't know what really happened. We saw what we saw. We don't know if it was self-defense, like you said. And the biggest thing you could have said, Penny, the biggest thing you could have said was the support has to come from the top. It has to come from the top. It definitely has to be in order for Tanisha to be successful.
Oh,
and hopefully
that
she'll get that support.
She got a lot to do. She got a lot to do, and it's a lot to do, and nothing against Tanisha. And I'm telling you this as a GM. That's a lot to do for a new coach, a veteran coach, let alone a new coach in her first job there. And at the end of the day, and this ain't got nothing to do with keeping Courtney or Crystal. This ain't got nothing to do with them. This still got to do it, and you still got to win. Because you know what I always say? Anybody around me knows this. A winner got many parents. A loser is an orphanage. Okay?
Okay.
Drink my tea on that note right
Cheers. There. Okay, right. I was like, oh, what you drinking? All right. All right. So we have saying not to bird. Okay, I'm sorry. I actually put that up. So we've got a lot going on. We got a couple of questions about Taurasi, a couple of arguments back and forth about the GOAT, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we're going to get to that. But we got to get to this because this is why we're here, right? We have today a special guest. I always get so excited because I'm kind of like a groupie, part host, part groupie. All right. So University of Tennessee, right? Everybody knows she was there. Got not one, not two, but 3 national championships there. She was 2-time WBCA, AP, and Naismith Player of the Year in 98 and 99, 2000 Olympian. #1 pick coming into the 99 draft with the Washington Mystics, stayed there through 2004. Then went on to the LA Sparks, must have been a GM that picked her up, 2005, 2007. Then there was also a brief stint with the Atlanta Dream that we were just speaking about, and a brief stint, 2010, San Antonio. She's a 6-time WNBA All-Star, WNBA Rookie of the Year, 2002 WNBA Scoring Champ, and she's even a mama now. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Hey,
what up, me?
What up, me? Let me
close this
computer real quick. What's up?
Yeah, well, welcome to the show. I know we're going to have a ton of questions. I have to tell you that you have been requested many, many times. Ruthie just returned as well. Many, many times you've been requested to come on this show. We welcome you back. And I'm going to start with the very, very first question. What the heck has been going on in your life? You are up to a million things. So I'm going to let you summarize all of the things you're doing right now. What's going on?
Well, trying to stay busy. First of all, is being a wife, being a mom, having an opportunity to continue to do my work as it relates to mental health and wellness. And so, just wearing different hats and just trying to wear the hats to the best of my ability, just enjoying life. Can't really complain about too much.
How much have you've been watching the games? I mean, being a mom, a new mom in particular, you might not have the same kind of time you used to.
Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Like, I watch players. I'll watch Taurasi play because I'm a big fan of hers and I like her game. I like Candace Parker play, but it's not like when I played, I'm constantly watching games. And so a lot of these new players, I'm not that familiar with. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good. But from what you have, one of the biggest questions, and we'll start taking a few questions, certainly from Penny Spoon as well as from Ruthie. But one of the questions we often get is, #1, just what happened? I mean, you were so impressive on so many levels. And a lot of people, particularly fans, kind of were left with the abrupt, holy smokes, almost at the peak of your career. And a lot of people never got that story. Can you share?
Yeah, so basically when I was in San Antonio, we were playing the Minnesota Lynx. I ruptured my Achilles. And during that time, I was rehabbing, and a lot of people don't know, I was just running in the park by my house one day, like slow jogging, 2 minutes jog, 2 minutes walk. I was probably like 7 months into rehabbing my Achilles, and I tore it again. And nobody was out on the track. When I tell y'all, it was like dead weight. I had to push myself back to my car and call a friend to come get me. That's what really happened. And so then after that, I remember Coach Summit was like, Holdsclaw, are you going to get back on the court? And Penny was saying earlier, I feel like God doesn't make any mistakes. I think he was really, he or she is talking to me and wanted me to create this shift. And I just had to move forward with that.
Oops, I forgot my little button here. in that time then in creating the shift. Look, I'm multitasking. It isn't always a smooth a smooth operation over here. I'm not Sade. During that time though, there were so many things. And when you talk about the shift with God, what was it for you that you felt over time when you couldn't? So we all have those moments when we look back and we say that adversity happened to me. I understand now how that happened and why. What was your aha moment as it pertained to that?
Oh man, my aha moment actually was when I didn't really recognize myself anymore. I was really struggling with my mental health, throughout my career, and a lot of times I was just going out there and playing because I was good at something. I wasn't taking the time to invest in Chamique and get to understand. It was like I was on autopilot. It's so many memories and amazing things when I see former teammates or friends or even fans that bring up, and I don't even remember because it was just like I was just cruising through things. So first of all, when I stepped away from the game and I was like really still struggling, whatever, and I had an incident in Atlanta, and which was scary because I really did not recognize myself. And I just remember everybody trying to get in contact with me. And finally, someone called me and I answered my phone and they're like, Coach Summit wanted me to come down her house. She was really worried about me. And I just remember I was like, not there mentally, but I know she's like a mother figure to me. So I head down to Knoxville and basically I'm like, this lady is going to scream at me and like go off on me because that's the type of relationship we had. And she looked at me, and this is when she's initially like first came out about her diagnosis, and she looked at me and she said, Chamique, I love you. You have to get healthy. And she goes, you got to just get away from all those people and deal with people that know you and know your character. And I took those words to heart, y'all. I just really had to just step away from everything. That whole identity of being Chamique Holdsclaw, the basketball players, from being Chamique Holdsclaw, this social person, to the person that people, I had to leave it behind in order for me to stand on my own 2 feet and create balance. And when I decided to do that, it was very uncomfortable because think about this, y'all, since we all grew up in sports. And so all the friends, all the relationships that I made, and having to really say, hey, I just really can't be around you right now because I love you, but you're not healthy for me. Like I'm moving forward and trying to plant, trying to really take these seeds and really just plant myself here so I can grow. And it took a lot of hard work. And the people that, were really supportive. Like one of my close friends, like Muriel, Paige, she gave me the time. She's there. She's, calling me, making sure I'm good. My other teammate I played with in LA, Anisha Carey, like those are people that allowed me the space to grow. And, I just came into my own too. And after that, I just took off. I just blossomed.
There's a comment here from Trisha, and she talks about your openness about your bipolar disorder and how inspiring that was. And now you're out there. You've become this face of an athlete that people look to for credibility on this whole topic. Right. What are some of the things that you encourage people to do in terms of mental health and advocacy for that?
I think, it's just know that, you have to really understand you're not alone. I had people in my life, and when you're dealing with these imbalances, that little crafty little creature can get in your head. And even though I have a good family support and friends, it was telling me I had no one. It was telling me that, no one understands me. And so you have to get to the point. People can't read your mind. Nobody, if I didn't speak it, people didn't really know what I was dealing with, and I was really sick to the point where I'm like, nobody understands. I'm isolating myself. I'm feeling stressed because I'm thinking people might know my secret. I struggle with like paranoia. It was really tough. And so I just really like to tell these young kids, like, try to find someone. It may not be a parent or guardian, it may be someone at a school, but you have to get that off your chest. That weight can be so heavy and debilitating, and it's just important to try to just get help if you can. So just knowing that it's real, and just knowing that you're not alone is the key.
Penny, you were.
Oh, go ahead. No, I was going to say, the thing I'm proud of you about, Chamique, just like I say, you may not remember this, but obviously, I always say I had the greatest gift to be a GM for 20 years and, have so many good players. When I say good, they all were good and all great and have their story. You know how I used to eat in the IHOP in the morning when I was working there. And I remember the conversation we had when the Sparks had just got you and when we had just traded for you. And I was saying, hey, you know what? Everybody's talking all this noise, but once you tell your story, there's nothing else to tell. And I'm proud because, like you say, when you grew and you blossomed and told your story, look at how that unfolded for you, and look at how many people that you done touch. I always loved you because at least I like to feel I got to know Chamique, even though you were doing that, because I always thought you were like, I just love talking to you because you read so many books. You had so many other stories. You had so many other great stories. It's a shame that these people always think that athletes are just athletes.
Yep,
when they have real lives, and you were one of Johnny Buss's favorites, and he just said that today when I told him you were going to be on the show. And for me, I'd just be so proud when you wrote your book and I said, wow, my girl finally telling your story. Nobody can tell your story like you can. And that's why the world became a bigger place for you, because you opened the door and you walked through finally.
Yes, I agree, definitely. And I remember that day too. It was like when I was in LA, I had actually had like a tough situation. I was really struggling, and I had a suicide attempt. And I mean, as a GM, I know that was really like hard for you to navigate, because it's like, this is your player and you're like, all right, get them back on the court. But also that was like, it was something new for you to understand. So for a while, my ass didn't want to talk to you. Because I'm like,
I'm gonna tell you something.
I'm real. It was like, I was like, how the hell? Like, I don't remember. And you was like, come on, Meek, but you're giving me that tough love because you're like, all right, this is maybe what she needs or whatever. So, but I will say, thinking back, you told me, you would like sit down with me, because remember, I wasn't going to play. I came to LA, remember, from DC.
You quit day one, remember? I
was like, I don't want to play. I don't want to
play. She quit day one. I said, okay, come eat with me then. Come eat breakfast with me. Because you thought I was in the gym. I say, no, I'm not in the gym. I'm over here in the IHOP. And I'm going to tell you something, Chamique, when I'm going to tell everybody something out there that you never would have known. And I'm going to tell you right to this day. And you don't even know this, Chamique. When you decided not to play for the Sparks, right? And this is a true story. And this is a very true story. The owners called me and they said, and this is true, Penny, do you think you can get a play? I said, probably can, but I'm not. I said, 2 reasons I'm not. I said, the best thing we can do for Chamique is get help. At least I tried to help. I believe I did. I said, why would we? And these are the things like now I can say, because I'm no longer the GM and I don't really have nothing bad to say about the owners, the players, or anything.
Right.
Maybe this current group, but okay. But I was like, but if you want to help Chamique, let's get Chamique help. And I hope that I like to feel like when you went through all that, I always tried to see things from your perspective. I told my owners, and this is what people don't even understand, that a GM has to go through. And maybe I should write a GM book, that don't have to go through. And this is true. We had a big argument because I wasn't going to move to try to get you to play. I said, but I am going to go be your friend and support you.
Right.
I never once came and said, hey, Chamique will come play. Like, I met you in IHOP when you quit. And you were struggling because your grandmother had just passed. And I had to tell you my story. My parents died. The thing I did know is this right here. To stop the noise is going to keep talking until you tell your story. Because once you tell your story, can't nobody tell it. What's the tell once you tell it?
Right, definitely. And it's crazy. My grandmother used to always say that, you tell your truth, and because if you don't, like I said, other people are going to create. And I felt that's what's happened, because I've heard so many like variations of my story from other people, because I really don't like put myself out there or give a lot, you know, to you know, just people talking about it, you know. And so I think people just created this whole Chamique Holdsclaw that I didn't even know existed. And I'm like, oh, really? Oh, okay. You know me better than I know myself then.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Period.
But I don't know why we hide. And that was one of the things. And let's just talk about, even with Chamique, I think it's also important to put out there, as a Black race, African Americans, it's okay for us to ask for help. And a lot of us think it's not okay for us to ask for help. Or we're weak when we ask for help. You know, I'm like, if I need help, I need help. You know, in her instance, I wanted her to tell her story. And I had a rule, and this is where the organization can help. Okay, once we have our media day, there are no more questions about what's happening, what's coming from. No media could answer that anymore. We're not living that, you know. But as a race, as Black people, we have to come to grips with it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I'm gonna change the tone a little bit and start picking up some of these questions that are coming in. I've been told that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to talk to you, Chamique. Once in a lifetime. So I'm going to try some of these questions that are popping up. People want to know about your experience. You're getting mad shout outs from your Tennessee crew. Some folks from Tennessee, also people repping from New York. We got some queens giving you fist bumps and shout outs and emojis. But here's a question. What was your favorite team you played on in the WNBA, and what was your personal experience in the WNBA? That's the second question.
Favorite team. Okay, I would have to say like probably the Mystics, because it was just like we were like a really family, like close knit young bunch. We went out there and played. Initially, we was just winning attendance records. It was packed. You know, we led the league in attendance. Weren't very good, because I think during my time with the Mystics, maybe 6 years, I played for like 7 coaches. You know, so much turnover. But the group of young ladies I really enjoyed. As far as like professional, like I really enjoyed like playing for LA. I felt like standard. Like when I went there, they knew what it was to win. I would say Johnny Buss, like he treated us like we were the Lakers, you know, like Pino, like, hey, if they had something, the food after the games, I was like, what, we get food after the games? like he was there to like really like, you know, take care of us and make me feel great. And also having a chance to play, you know, with Lisa and just learn the game from another player who was like a high caliber player, like seeing it through her mindset. So that was really great. And I mean, I never really played with like I played with great players, you know, here and there. But like, Mwati Mabika, she was like really in shape. She was an amazing freaking athlete. Like, so, you know, having all those different pieces like come together, and again, you know, that was a great experience. And so I think each team, even San Antonio, it was like a more mature team, a more that was like the end of it. Was very mature team, and they did things like a certain way, sort of like when you think about the San Antonio Spurs, you know, it's never like any, you know, kind of like real clean cut. So it was it was interesting being in that locker room, and I'm like looking at Hodges. I'm like, dang, I feel like a rebel. Like, hey, I feel like I'm a little different, but that, you know, each experience teaches you skill.
Yeah. Uh-oh, her audio went out. Check your audio. Meek, can you hear me? Meek, can you hear me? All right, we're having Meek. I don't know if you can hear me, but your audio went out. Your sound went out. Nope, can't hear you. All right, I was about to pop in another question about. So, Chamique, I'm going to ask you to try this. Try to go back out off of the screen and then just kind of come back in again, because your audio has totally, it's gone. All right. Spoon.
Yeah.
You're too quiet.
No, I was listening. You know, I was just listening because she's like a little sister. So I was just listening to her and how she's able to tell a story. And she tells it with such courage. you know, and such passion behind it, knowing that she's going to be a lesson or a major example for someone who might be going through this very same thing. And just to hear how she can tell that story and don't feel like she's in a dark place. She feels like she's in a place where now she can be of help to other people. It's just beautiful to hear how she now can talk about it. So I was just listening, just looking at her like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable the things that she's gone through and how now she's standing the way with her shoulders brought, her head up, and her voice still powerful. It's great to hear.
Yeah.
It's one of those things too, where when we were talking about, you know, even the GOAT, and you know, it's not the equivalent of or the same as, but how Chamique should have been the GOAT, been considered. And it's like what you said, Spoon, 2 weeks ago. Why isn't she a GOAT? Because they look at her as a rebel or the things that she went through or whatever. And sometimes things we go through make us a better person and help us grow. Where Chamique should have been on that GOAT team because she could have done, if not all of them, at least mostly all of them with her game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's why Washington, even though they weren't good, they still led in attendance because she had so many people that wanted to see her play and marveled at her play. And that's why I said as a GM, it was such an honor for the 2 years that she was there because I got to see a different Chamique, you know, not just the baller Chamique, you know.
And you brought so many fans with, I mean, everyone has fans, right? Like when they go from college to the WNBA. But you were coming from three-time, you were coming from the late
Michael Jordan. It
was a whole different level. You already had 30,000 fans, you know, nightly, right, coming after you. Yeah. So let's go back before we even got to the WNBA. This question here, how did it feel? I can imagine how it felt, but my question would be, how did it change you not getting that fourth? You won 3 titles at Tennessee.
Oh man,
How did it change you?
That fourth one, it made me. I remember crying, man. I'm in my locker room because you know I was used to winning. I'm crying, and I'm like, I'm not doing media. The career's over. And Coach Summit's like, just like you handle success, you gotta handle failure. And that was like an aha moment, you know. And you think about it, life has so many ups and downs, and I always remember that, you know, Holdsclaw, you know, you're driven, you have a lot of successes around you, but you got to learn how to handle the tough times. And she used to always tell me, tough times don't laugh, but tough people do, you know. That's how I had to navigate that.
Yeah, my dad used to always say that to me. 1999, you're the number 1 pick in the draft. That included the ABL players. How did that feel? That had to be an amazing moment as well.
Man, to be honest with y'all, this is what went through my mind, and I paid for it later. I was like, okay, it's myself, Natalie Williams, and Yolanda Griffith. Okay, they have more experience. Washington has the number 1 pick, and I think it was like Utah, then Sacramento, something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, as soon as I got drafted, number 1, Chamique Holdsclaw, I go on camera, y'all. I was like, oh my God, I just want to thank God I'm not going to Utah. Do you know, every time I went to play there, they beat me. Like, boo! But, oh my God, man. Those trips to Utah back then, man, it's a little different. But I was like the, you know, New York City kid. I was like real New York then. And then Tennessee kind of like calmed me down a little bit. So I was really wanted to be back up north, closer to my family. So DC, that was the move.
Wow. I wanted to say there was also another question. I can't find it. There's so many here, but there was another question that wanted to take you back even before then. 4 state titles in high school?
Yes. 4
All right,
states.
so
well, you know,
so
my high school, like, man, my high school is like that. I mean, think about it. We got 3, like a lot of people don't know this. Christ the King High School has 3 number 1 picks in the WNBA. Myself, Sue Bird, and Tina Charles. Like our high school, before I even went there, they was winning state championships, ranked, you know, top 5 in the country. I played varsity, y'all, my freshman year. and I set the bench.
Like, see, people didn't know that.
I played like, I rode the bench because our team was so good. I mean, all the players basically went Division I. Every player that played at Christ the King during my time got a scholarship to college. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was. I just came in and I bought my Astoria. I'm gonna say my Astoria because I grew up with my grandmother for 4 years. I went to go live with my grandmother, so she was living in a housing project, and that's when I really fell in love with basketball. So I was like the only girl out there, and I will just say I bought that flair and that style to a Catholic school, which there wasn't a lot of people like me that looked like me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. One of the few blacks. We always had 2 black girls on the team.
This question. I'm sitting here, my cheeks are hurting. One of the best shows that we've had. We've had a couple really, really good shows, and it's always because people like you are willing to come on and talk to us and give us the real deal, right? Mm-hmm. So there was this whole thing about they asked Swoops. Wait. Somebody asked Cheryl Swoops. But I didn't think it was about Chamique. I thought it was about somebody else, right? But do you remember anything about Swoops getting a soda for you on a daily basis or anything about that?
Man, hell yeah, no. Man, let me tell you, man, Cheryl ass was trying to haze me. Like, I had to bring her a freaking Coke to the bus every day. Like, she like Coca-Cola. So one day, I forgot the damn Coke. And so she got attitude with me, I'm like, man, this is how it happens. It's like, yo, in my college dorm room, who was on my wall? Yeah. Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie posters, So it's just like, all right, I'm good, but like, yo, Cheryl Swoops, USA team, she want me to get her a coat. I'm gonna play along with the game. But then, man, when she got attitude with me, I was like, yo, like I do this because I'm playing along with the game. And then I go to the back of the bus, and Kara Walters and Katie Smith are high-fiving me like, yeah, way to stand up for yourself.
I think Swoops tried to deny that, didn't she?
Yeah.
Swoops was like,
listen.
You had to bring her back on with that one. She had to tie it.
Man, listen. Then, it's just certain times I remember because they try to throw the young one under the bus. Okay, one time we were on a USA team, right? And somebody drives the golf court across the punting tee, right? We're doing this golfing event, and on all these magazines, they're saying this Chamique Holdsclaw. It was Lisa Leslie. It wasn't me.
Well, we all do look like.
Got me out here, like I'm disrespecting the golf course. I'm like, man, y'all don't know how many times. And I guess me and Lisa, even when I played for the Sparks, like people all the time be like calling her me because we got the slim face. I'm like, oh my God, like all black people don't look alike.
Like I said, we all look like.
It was one of them tall black chicks
who's looking at us.
Right. All right, so that's good. So we cleared that up. So Hoop Baller said it was because I think Swoops was saying she never played with Candace and she never remembered anything about getting a soda or whatever. So hopefully, Hoop Baller, we cleared that up. I hope we cleared that up. Let's go back. Let's go back to also about one of the best relationships and most well talked about relationships in sport was between you and Pat Summitt. Just your overall, I know you've learned many lessons, and I know you've answered this question many times, but this is the only time you've answered it on Certified Unscripted. Can you talk about that relationship?
All right. Man, Coach Summitt is, wow, she's one of the best things that happened to me, and my grandmother just knew it. They just like connected. They were really, really close. Coach Summitt's just real. Like, she's just so freaking real. Like, she's like, listen, I'm a white woman. I'm from the country. My family, tobacco fields, dry cleaners, Boone's Farm. Like, she's like, that's how I grew up. But she goes, one thing I'm gonna teach you is hard work, and how to speak up and stand up for yourself. The realest moment is I think my sophomore year. We're struggling. We went on to win a championship, and Coach Summitt says, listen, like, hold on, y'all. I look around this room, 12 players on a team or whatever. She goes, 8 of y'all or being raised by, single parents. And she goes, it's my job to make you strong, independent women. So you can go out there and be successful and never have to, expect anything from anyone else. And those are the moments that she had. She was there. She was family. If you need Coach Summit, I mean, you could call her any time of the day, time of the night. She was just always there. So losing her was a really tough pill to follow, tough pill to swallow. I mean, I just remember everybody's calling me because, they're like, oh, me. And I'm like, I'm okay. Because, I had really grown and was able to deal with it and understand it. But man, that lady right there, we can talk about basketball and her success. We know she did that, but she was a real one. You know what I'm saying? She would tell you to stand up for what you believe in. She was like, listen, I know you in Knoxville and this campus, and it's not many Black people here. You know what I'm saying? And she goes, I know it's hard. I'm coming from New York. I'm like, like this is crazy. With diversity, I'm used to all different people. And but she was like, I'm gonna show you what family is. Family is not necessarily blood. It's the people that show up and show out for you. And that lady is one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that. I mean, I think for those of us I know, even in the few times that I had an opportunity to interact with her, there was always a lesson. I mean, always, I remember one of my stories that I'll never forget is obviously being a commentator. And I want to say that you all were playing, and my years are all messed up, but you were playing UConn, right? For the champ. So whatever year that was, I don't know. I kept lost track, 90 something. By the way, I had to pick.
That's 90. I think it's 96. 96, I think.
Yeah, well, this one would have been later. So it was another one of those matchups. So it had to be 2000, possibly 2001, 2002, San Antonio, 2002, I think, possibly. All I know is one of our jobs is as analysts, just like experts on this show. So don't ever think I don't get you, Penny, when you have to tell the truth, right? So our job is you have to pick the winner, and you can't dance and you can't skate. Well, I kind of think this team, but it was like, no, Jones, call it. Who's going to win it? I say UConn. Man, let me tell you. Then after I say on air, UConn, right? Our ESPN executive says, okay, now go get the interview from Pat. She ripped me up. She ripped me down. You got a lot of nerve. Ask me some questions. You're gonna pass UConn, and then after she ripped me up and down for not picking you all to win, the championship. She gave me a lot of really, really good advice just overall, because I was sweating bullets because I got that stare down, that famous stare down. But I think she touched a lot of people, and I think she touched a lot of people because she was real, and you're gonna get it real, and you're gonna get it raw, kind of like we talk about on this show. So we thank you for sharing that relationship. She was, by the way, UConn won.
You know what?
I'm just saying. At least I picked it right. That would have really been bad if I picked the wrong one. But so here we go. Meek, here's another one. Talk about your first time matching up with Candace Parker and your thoughts on Candace, even now as Chicago has made this rebound and this, is really, really doing the darn thing, trying to get themselves a championship right now.
Yeah, so I've always been a fan of Candace because I like players who are versatile. I think she could do a lot of different things on the basketball court. But I matched up first time against Candace, 2000. I want to say this is 2010, San Antonio, and we're actually matched up. And she caught the ball in the post, and next thing I know, so quickly she scored on me. And the footwork she put on me, I said to myself, running down the court, the game has changed. The game has changed. Like, she was just smooth. It's like Candace played above the rim, like especially when she had those young legs when she first came in the league. She was just able to do some amazing things out there. And now just, I really liked her in LA, but I think, sometimes things run its course, it ran its course. She goes back home to Chicago, and when you go back home, you want to show out for your city, right? She wants to show out. But you got, she's doing it. That's what she's doing. But Only thing like Penny was saying earlier, the crazy part, like, how do you let Candace and Chelsea leave and get nothing?
Absolutely
like
nothing.
Like
absolutely nothing.
Like,
everybody should have been fired. You could have got a whole team for Candace, and like I've always said, with Candace is great. Obviously, like I said earlier, speaking with Meek, when we were speaking before we came on the air, obviously I had a hard time because she didn't play hard all the time. I went from Lisa Leslie, who played hard all the time. Like, you don't have to tell Lisa to play hard. Even at 40, I think Lisa retired before Lisa. And you knew that, Chamique, Lisa going to be up. Lisa's problem was she practiced too much to, talent can't win you games. And I do believe, even when I saw she went to Chicago, I said, that's a great fit for Candace because their team is ready to win and she could be the missing piece. And I'm happy that she is winning. This is what people don't understand. Because like I said earlier, people walk up to me and go, how you like that now, Penny? I say, you can't say that now because if I was the GM, Chicago would not be intact. LA would have as Diamond the Shields and probably Courtney Vandersloot on our team if you wanted Candace Parker. I would have gotten something for Candy. I would have gotten something for Chelsea. And this is what, like Meek said, not taking off the question. And it, as a player can elect to go wherever they want to go, and you can't be mad. But also as a team, and I'm proud to say that my first 10 years was spent with Jerry West. He gave me the winning formula. I didn't have to, I had to learn it and implement it. But the Lakers had champions who were doing it that were teaching me. Right. It's no fluke that I have 3 titles. And I say I owe that to Johnny exposing me to Jerry West, Dr. Butts exposing me to them. Like I said, even when you hear me say it's time to trade Candace, because it run its course. As fans, they never want to part with their stars. But as a GM and an organization, you have to do what's best for your team, just like Candace did what was best for herself to go home and play for her home team. I'm happy for her, but as the Sparks, but you got nothing. And that's what people understand. I never disliked Candace, love her. But as a team, you have to do what's best for your team. And because the Sparks would not do what's best for their team, they got nothing for her. You see what I'm trying to say? Because at the end of the day, it's still a business. I'm happy Candace is winning. She's playing hard. Her team is perfect. But what did the Sparks get out of that? It was my job to do what was best for the Sparks.
So Chamique will pop back off. I want to pop her back in again as soon as she returns to the stream. I know you keep popping on and off. I know you got some internet issues. But I did want to get to...
You know what's happening? My neighbor's calling me. I don't know how to cut my phone off, and people keep calling me. This is why I keep. I'm like, why's my neighbor calling me? But they probably got that. My neighbors are
Kim and
her husband's Dominican, she's Puerto Rican, and I love Puerto Rican food. So she probably cooked some food and is telling me to come on. But
I wanted to ask you, there was another question about you playing. I lost it now, but it was about, did you play, I think in 98, did you play with Ruthie? I'm gonna add on to that question. There is a Mighty Ruthie, there is a Teaspoon, and there is a Penny on this screen. I want you to break down the scout on all 3 of them, if you would, please.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Give us the scout.
Oh, okay. Let me start. But first of all, Penny because me and Penny were, cool, whatever. Penny gave a high-ass dribble, and you think that she's doing that DC move. And Penny got a look, Penny. I used to be like, no, Penny, really? You scored the first point and you get a banner? Get the hell out of here. And then like, okay, and then Ruthie, Ruthie, my girl. I never played. We played world championships and Olympics together, Ruthie, and I never played with a player who made so many game-winning shots. But Ruthie never remembered the plays. Ruru, don't be like this. All right, Ruthie, well, you just come around the screen like game winners, like game winners, like Ruthie, that on our Olympic journey, you hit like, I think it was like 4, if I'm not mistaken, on our road to the 2000 Olympics. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember we played those. Yeah. I would have a horrible percentage,
Clutch.
but I would hit sometimes shot that counts. But yeah.
Oh man, like
that's all that matters right there.
I don't know when Mario play. Right.
Man, and you know Teaspoon, like we played against each other a lot, but energy. I mean, Teaspoon's energy, tough, tenacious defensive player. Yo,
did she talk trash?
Nah, she's just hot. You know, high energy. What you gonna do? But let me tell you, coming from ISO, so that's where I would really like take advantage, right? Like you wanna switch on the pick. I'm a post. I was a big guard, but I knew how to post up. Yo, one time I caught the ball, Teaspoon. Yo, I couldn't move, y'all. I was trying. She had me stuck, whatever. But always, I mean, it's always love. I'm from New York City, so when I was still in college, when I would come home for the summer, I would always come watch the Liberty play, and that's who I was a fan of. Teaspoon, Kim Hampton, Sue Wicks, and I thought, oh my God, if I could play for the Liberty one day. Didn't turn out that way, but I mean, just all you guys are all a part of me, inspired me when I was younger. Y'all are players that I looked up to, But Penny, the high socks, Penny was straight DC. Like, y'all gotta know, when I went to DC to play, that was how Penny looked like every DC baller.
And DC ball out. I'm representing for you, DC. We balled out.
That's it. Meek, were you a fan of Cheryl Miller, and did Pat Summitt have you watch her game tapes?
Right. So Cheryl Miller recruited me like at USC, and back then, we didn't have like a lot of footage on the players like before us. And when I started playing like USA basketball, I would say, let me take it back. So I hear all these stories about Cheryl Miller, Reggie Miller's sister, the versatility, how she was like the greatest or whatever. So I go to Coach Summitt. I'm like, yo, I need to see video. And next thing you know, the VHS, like the film guy brings me all this VHS, and I started watching, and I just like fell in love like with the way that she played, Oh my God, the mid-range jump shot, just how, the length, and she was just, just like that Taurasi energy. Imagine that Taurasi energy, but being like super, a little more athletic. Like I fell in love with her game. So yeah, Cheryl Miller was definitely one of those. But I would say like a lot of people, the best player. Okay, I played with a lot of great players, but as far as like knowing the game, the 2 best players that I ever played with, I'm gonna say first, like, I was young on USA, and they made me room with Teresa Edwards. Oh, she was hard on me, but like, yo, she don't get the respect that she deserves. Like, she was like, man, she's so cold. She's so cold. Like her game was just like amazing. And then you had on the flip side, you had Dawn Staley. She was just like a great quarterback. Just like Ruthie. We played with both of those players on our USA team. It was like if you just ran off the screen, they was gonna get you the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they knew how to control the tempo. Like again, I didn't get T in her prime. So I can only imagine, man, how she used to do that thing with that rock.
There's a comment. I'm finding this one. See if I can get this one up. There was a comment from a recent guest who summarized you as or said you were the Allen Iverson of the WNBA. What do you think of that? Do you think of yourself that way? Have you ever thought of yourself that way? And then they say they're not saying no names.
I would just say, like, I don't really, like I said, I don't fuck with a lot of people. I'm not fake. And so the fact that I don't fuck with a lot of people, I'm not fake. I just feel like, just people don't get me, but I don't go around carrying that. When I see, I give love, I love people, I love energy, but you're not going to see me just, that's just not me, because let me tell you something. Same people on the way you extend, you go through. I've always treated people a certain way with kindness or whatever. And you go through your tough times, You see how people are. And I had to process that. But still I was like chill. And I was like, man, some of these people, man, they're in the business of sport. You got a lot of ass kissers. You know, people that just want to get close to you because you're good at something or whatever. So I don't know. I just navigate, and I choose to deal with people that are real, people that are about substance. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm just not going to be. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say you didn't have a problem with practice, though. So you're not really Allen Iverson. It's not like you had a problem with practice.
You know, practice. Yeah, probably not. Not to the extent. I mean, Allen Iverson was he's like the as hard as he went. That's like a teaspoon type hard. I won't say that I played that hard. I can't say. So I can understand when Allen Iverson's talking about practice. Like, come on, this dude sacrificed his body. You know what I'm saying? He needed a break. Give my man a break.
All right, so this is another ongoing one for our fans. We're going a little bit longer today just because like I said, we've had these guests and these names get, you know, we've been talking about different players, and obviously your name has come up many times as one of the greats and different stories and anecdotes and things. So another one that has been ongoing for us. And so we've been, and I'm putting myself in, even though I think Penny and I actually did kind of summarize, we had to pick who was better between T. Edwards or Cynthia Cooper. And so the fans don't want us to skate around this any longer. So now you're on that hot seat. Call it. You played with both.
Oh man, they're two different players.
Okay, we said similar. We said a similar thing.
They're two different. And then the thing about it, like, I don't know, for me, Cynthia Cooper brought that European game to the WNBA. Like, yo, she was Eurostepping before Eurostepping was popular. Like, it's a totally different flair. And then we never really got to see Teresa Edwards in the WNBA. With like, Cynthia Cooper had Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson. It was like a different spacing on the court, you know. But they're both ultimate competitors. I mean, one's a point guard, one's a, like, you know, 2-guard shooter. They're very different. I don't know. I can't say who's better. You know,
can't do it.
Nah, I can't.
Oh, did you ever weigh in on this or not? Because I swear it felt like me and Penny got stuck with it. Turn your mic on.
I said the very same thing Meek said.
Okay.
You weigh in on that. Two different players, two different things that they bring to the game.
Ruthie, did you?
No, I think, to me, for as Meek really illustrated, your portrayed is really how different they are. But I think, to me, leadership, you know, I think that Teresa Edwards more of a quarterback, and Teresa Edwards, I think, wasn't as a scorer. I'm just as Cooper.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that, so I think, I don't know, I'm sort of caught in the middle too, but I feel that they, like I said, Teresa was a leader, and I would say for us a scorer and get people involved, I want to say Coop was that player that I think that got, you know, and like I said, and you made a good point, Chamique. We didn't see, I played with Teresa a lot, but we didn't see her in her prime enough in WNBA. I think that but you know,
All right, so one of the last ones that it now has just become this ongoing thing. Nobody gets to come on the show without naming their top 5 players ever. But this one, Netta is asking you not just WNBA, just period. You got to pick a top 5 spot.
Oh, okay.
Period.
If you said WNBA, I was about to go downstairs to my son because I'm not getting beat up.
Yeah, but now you can just go period, so you can save yourself a black eye or two. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have to say, like, of course, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant.
Oh no! Come on, female. I will keep it there. I did, but I am going to say keep it in the women.
All right. This is hard. Okay, it's not hard. All right. You want to do positions or?
No, you don't know positions. You get to pick whatever 5.
All right. I'm going to have, all right, boom. I'm going to start with Taurasi, cold killer, man. Like, I tell people, I said, I'm going to the hood. I got to pick somebody to go play with me. Out of everybody, I'm taking Taurasi with me. I'm taking her with me. I'm gonna go with of course, big person. I gotta go with like Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird, So I got Tarasi, Lisa Leslie, Sue Bird, and all right, it's a person where I'm gonna put on my team because the thing about it, you're gonna need somebody to like go get the ball, right? Like you need a rebounder. I'm going with Yolanda Griffin.
Okay.
People may not agree with that, but she was relentless. And even when I played in LA, like, you know the times Lisa was having a hard time, but yo,
oh yeah,
yo, go hard. And then I'm gonna rock with I'm gonna have to go with like I like Cheryl Swoops, but I'm gonna go with from old school Cynthia Cooper, man. Come on, Coop took the game to another place. You know, it was different. You know, so that's who I'm gonna rock with. Maybe changes here and there, but I'm gonna go with those.
That's good. That's a good find.
All right. I know that you were coming up on some people's teams. You'd be happy to know. So last question, too, before we, as we bring in Rita. Rita, thank you so much for getting us our great guest tonight.
Thank you.
But you're a mom now, and life changed. Talk about that a little bit, about your family, and just, you know, I didn't give you a chance to shout out that at all.
Oh yes. I'm really blessed. I met the perfect person for me, and we have a son. He's about to be 2 in December. So family, you know, just to be able to, you know, have your own family and create your own, you know, story. It's been such a blessing. So I love that. It's not easy because, you know, you give a lot of yourself and you have to really incorporate balance, you know, but I love it. You know, we're expecting another baby at the end of the year. So please keep us in your prayers. I'm really excited about that. So yeah, I'm loving being Mama Meek.
yeah, it's a whole new dimension. Last thoughts, Penny, Spoon, Ruthie, Rita.
Well, I'm gonna go.
Well, I got a last question for the group because we didn't talk about it, but who's gonna win the championship?
Holy smokes!
That is what people want to know too. They want to know, like, hey, who's gonna win the championship and who's gonna be the difference maker? So we got like 5 minutes to talk about that. So we got to get it in there because this is a big game tomorrow, and people want to know.
That's a tough one.
I came in. I'll start because I came in and I definitely was down with Phoenix. I will be the first to say I was surprised that Chicago. I'm impressed, right? I'm be the first to say that I'm like looking at Chicago like, oh, I slept on Chicago. So I'll be the first to admit it. But I just think, you know, I think enough people know Tarasi. You know, and, you know, that whole piece on, you know, who was it we just had? We talked about they smell blood. She smells blood.
Ashley Battle.
Oh, Ashley Battle was on just last week, right? So I think Phoenix is going to rebound, no pun intended. I think that's going to happen. So I came in thinking Phoenix. I'm going to stick with Phoenix, but it is not as easy as I thought it was once going to be, for sure.
For sure. I guess I'll go second. I'm kind of along the same lines with Vera. I think Phoenix is a little shorthanded right now, but I think they know how to win. You know, when you have some veterans in your lineup. Candace, you know, she's the veteran. She's a leader on their team, but they got some young bucks. And I think when the pressure really gets on them, I think they're going to be pleasantly surprised or just surprised. So I'm just going to hold out with Tarasi, and I think Phoenix is going to find a way to win. I just think they're built like that.
Penny?
That's even though like you got Candace and you got Brittany, I'm one of those people where I believe the guards stay ahead of the horse, and whichever team guards play the best. Like right now, I don't think Phoenix has an answer for Kalia Cooper. With Kia Nurse being out, I think they need Sophia. Hopefully, Sophia Cunningham can come back and play because even though Brittany, I think, had 22, it was a tough 22 because I'm watching all the Phoenix players miss open shots. You know, I'm looking at that as the GM, missing open shots. Well, maybe that could have been some fatigue as well. If they lose tomorrow, they will get swept. You know what I'm saying? Their whole season, to be honest with you, is riding on tomorrow's game. If they lose tomorrow, they will get swept.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
I can see that. Spoon, thoughts?
So who you with, Penny? Who you got?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to go against Tarasi. I'm gonna tell you, it's hard to go against Tarasi, but I'm not gonna skate on it. I got Chicago in 4.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, girl.
Good call.
Man, I just think, like I said, guards, Vandersloot's on the road. Calais Cooper. They don't have an answer with Nurse being hurt, and more importantly, Quigley is doing what Quigley does. She is shooting the lights out,
And they playing with a chip on the shoulder. I feel a chip is on the shoulder for Chicago.
It's hard to go against Rossi, but I'm picking for all y'all out there, Candace Parker in Chicago.
Spoon, who you got?
I was Phoenix bound too, you guys. I really was, until they became this shorthanded team in such a hostile environment. And the way that Chicago is playing with Vandersloot leading the way, it's super hard for me to go against DT. Extremely hard.
Me too, but
when you have a team that's fully stacked still in the playoffs and can come off the bench still with a lot of firepower, I don't think I can go with Phoenix on this one. I think I might have to go with Chicago because of them having a full team, and you got Sloot that's leading the way.
And Chicago that got the first one in Phoenix, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That to me was like, that's a game changer.
But you know what? They were tired. You got to think about they had 48 hours rest. They played 7 games in 16 days. So you have a lot of factors. I think if they get some rest, it's going to be a different story.
But I also say, look at the difference maker that Khalil Cooper made in the last series, the series before that.
That's true.
In this series, and they really don't have anybody to match. To be honest with you, I'm not telling Sandy what to do, but I can tell you if she started getting off, I'm gonna be like, Turner, go get her, because you have to stop her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Turner got that height, and people are like, what you do? I know a lot, but that's why I say, and it's still a guards game, even though you got the big players in there. And Chicago guards right now, they look real nice.
They looking good.
What you got, Ruth?
Yeah, I think I'm a Tarasi fan too, but it's something about when I watch Chicago, I watch Candace, and Candace, she obviously started off extremely great in the league, and then she sort of, I don't know, she just seemed like she wasn't the Candace that I've seen play. It's something different about what she right now, and I watch on the sideline. They have bought into her like energy. She's such a leader, and she's she wants this so bad.
Yeah,
and I can see everybody just they are playing with like ice in their vein. They're playing like, you know what, we got nothing to lose. Everybody else pulling for that, and there was a different hunger in Chicago, and everybody just buying into it. And these younger girls say, hey, this is a chance for me to really, they look up to Candace. I think she's just whatever I can do.
Keep me off the Olympic team.
Oh yes, she playing with
she got a chip
urgency. Like, you know what? Hey, we tell them watch us work. So I'm gonna sort of lean towards Chicago a little bit.
Yep. All right, and we saved the best for last, I guess. Me.
I haven't been watching that much, but Chicago, 2 balls. I'm a big fan of Candace and Diamond DeShields. I've known Diamond since she was a young kid. Her mother, went to Tennessee, ran track, so I'm rocking with the Shy.
Okay. All right. There it is, folks.
It's a lot of great storylines. I know we didn't get to talk about it. I just want to throw it out there so people can know that there's so many great storylines with, I still want to say my hat's off to Sandy. If she could pull it out, that'd be awesome too, because she was the only female coach in the whole Final Four, and a lot of people don't understand that Olaf, as well as James, coached Candace before, so it wasn't like going to a new team. She went to coaches that were very familiar with her when they coached over in Russia. And the storyline where it's funny how Sandy's there and Olaf, her husband, is the assistant coach for Chicago. Then let's just face it, you have James Wade, and I don't care what anybody say, it'd be nice. Yeah, he would probably be, if I'm not mistaken, I think Michael Cooper was the only African American coach to win a championship in the WNBA. if I'm not mistaken. James Wade would be the second. So these are like all the, and then you got a part of me say, I want Teresa to win for the GOAT and go out on top because this may be her last year. Then, of course, it'd be awesome for Candid's storyline to bring a championship there. I just want to say for the W, it's an exciting time. And anybody on here, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Keep
watch the game.
For the WNBA, watch the game. Watch the game.
We come a long way, and I'm glad that we have an opportunity to be on. Again, Chamique Holdsclaw.
Thanks for having me, y'all. Thanks for
having
me, fam. All right,
I got something real quick. I got something real quick. I kept jumping off because of internet in Mississippi, but I know I missed out. I want to say to Meek is that, I know what we were talking about. I'm so proud of you because what seemed to be vulnerable, one thing about vulnerability is because whatever it is that you're vulnerable about, it cannot hold you hostage anymore. It cannot take captive of your mind. So you really, like Penny said, you actually be able to just walk into your greatness, and we thought you were great on the court. What you've done now is showed a different level of boldness. And I admire that. And my headband off to you for that. And so with that said,
thanks,
I want to leave you with this. You are so wonderful to me. You are so wonderful to me. You're everything that I hope for.
Yeah, sing that.
Everything that we all need. Yes. You are so wonderful to me. We love you, girl.
Okay. What a great way to end the show.
Thank you, Ruru.
Yes.
When you going on The Voice, girl?
Hey, you know what? And I want to say this too. You're incredible, and incredible looks so good on you. I'm working on a song for young girls, and it talks about you belong here. You're incredible. Your action changed the world. You can change the world. And incredible looks so good on you. It looks great on you, and boldness looks great on you. So I'm so proud of you, girl. Keep flexing your muscles to be the best version of you.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. They don't look like boys, but okay.
Chamique, I really, really want to thank you. We New York bonded anyway, so you already know what that means. But, just the courage that you've shown through everything you've been through over the years, nothing has happened for no good reason. There's always a reason. There's always a plan. And you might have thought basketball was your everything. But what you're doing now is touching people more than you could possibly ever have imagined. I have a young lady that I want you to link with, Coach D, who came on the show from Get Fit to Our Right. She was phenomenal. I think the two of you together would be an awesome power in New York and even nationally. But I really want to thank you for sharing with us and just being vulnerable and honest about life in general and its ups and downs. So appreciate you always.
Yeah. Thank you. Did they know that you were like my first competition I ever did in women's basketball? Rita was my coach, and I didn't realize it until I was a pro player and I came back to New York in the off season, and Rita was actually training me. And then I'm like, oh shit, you was the person that coached me on my first. Yes, definitely. So thank you for having me, Rita.
Oh, you're welcome, love. You're welcome, for sure.
All right.
Coach D is on, by the way, and she says blessings.
Hey, Spoon,
you've been like a little sister to me. And I get a chance in front of everybody right now to say, when I broke your finger, I'm sorry.
You are crazy.
I was just trying to give you a chance.
Listen. You broke my finger, and then you made fun of me because my shoulders are so high. I'm like, come on, man.
But just know this, Meek, that I was telling them when your internet kind of went crazy was that I thought today for me was more of just to listen. I wanted to listen. I didn't have a question. None of that, because I know what you've gone through. I know the dark times. I know the tunnels that you saw that just didn't seem like there's a way out. But the way that you're speaking, the way that you're carrying yourself, the passion, the energy that you have to every day step into your truth, but yet be that example for someone going through the very same thing. And you tell them you can pull through too. So I humbly say thank you for touching those lives, but also touching mine. I love you.
Thanks, sis. I love you too, sis. Thank you for that. You take care of yourself. We got to catch up soon.
Always. I got you.
Definitely.
And Chamique, for me, always Leo to Leo.
Leo. Wait, are we the same? Are we the same day, August 9th?
No, we're not the same day, but I remember every summer I would be like, "What's up, Leo?"
Yeah, Leo. That's what's up. But y'all, Penny, stay blessed. All y'all, love y'all, and I'll catch up with y'all soon. I hear my son. He trying to make his way upstairs. He's like,
all right,
mama.
All right.
Bye.
All right.
We
appreciate you. And we appreciate all of you. Remember, you can always check us out on CertifiedUnscripted.com. Go back and watch the shows. Check us out on YouTube. Always follow me on Facebook. Join us every week, Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, it's raw, it's real, and it's respected voices in women's hoops. When it comes to women's basketball, we're not new to this.
I ain't got my
Certified
Unscripted.
We'll see you guys next week. Be sure to tune in, and we'll try to keep you posted on what surprise. Oh, wait, we do have a surprise next week, right?
We do. Tamika Catchings.
Tamika Catchings. Join us next week. Tamika Catchings is going to be our special guest. I am super, super excited about that. So we'll be back again. You be back again. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and we'll see you next.